Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be talking about the care and housing of the Pinnacate Darkling Beetle. This is mine, doesn't have a name, but that is okay. I'm assuming it's a her, for a very long time, almost 2 years now. And I'm not exactly sure how old they get, but she's been thriving very well for me. This is just my temporary containers. So these beetles are found all across the southwestern United States and parts of Mexico, I believe. This individual, I believe, may be Elodie's armada, though I'm not entirely sure. It could also be grandicolosis, I believe is how you pronounce that. But I'll find out later. This roach just lives in the container with her, but I just put it right here, so don't mind that. But this species is herbivorous largely. However, I have seen them consuming already dead animal matter. So they're not going to go out of their way to hunt something down, is basically what I'm saying. They're also sometimes known as stink bugs because sometimes when you pick them up, they'll put their butts up in the air like this, basically. Mine has gotten used to me picking it up, but they'll stick their butts up in the air like that, basically, and just kind of secrete a very smelly liquid that is difficult to get off your hands. And you will smell bad for the rest of the day. So I will tell you it does work very well. They also will poop on you, but if you have one like mine and she gets used to you handling her, you'll probably have no problems. As I said, they're herbivorous mainly, so you can use fresh vegetables. I actually use the Zoomed buffet blend from my late tortoise that I had. I just use this buffet blend for tortoises. It has little pieces of freeze-dried fruit and whatnot. It also has these little pellets that are surprisingly good for many herbivorous invertebrates. I use it for my hissing roaches. I use it for my other beetles, my death-feigning beetles that live in here with one of my geckos. It works for a lot of different herbivorous invertebrate species. And it works very well. I'll use it for my dubia roaches that I feed to stuff. I'll use it for many different things, including crickets and whatnot. So, it's very good. I highly recommend using it if you don't even have a tortoise and you have invertebrates. It's inexpensive to buy, and you get a big box of it. Or not a box, but like a jar. And it works very well. As for substrate, they come from often very dry and deserty areas. So I use a largely sand mixture with some of the Zilla jungle mix, as well as some of the Zoomed sand, whatever you want to call that stuff. And then I mix that in actually with the pellets. I put some pellets in here, so if she decides to dig around or forage, she can have the option to do so and still find some food. As for enclosures, this is a good size for, I'd say, 1 in here, but you guess you could push it to 2 if they're smaller individuals. I'd go a bit larger for 2, maybe something like this 8x8x8 cube here. Or if you have more than that, I'd go to something like an extra large Exoterra critter keeper sort of thing, or any other sort of critter keeper. So that's basically what I use for substrate and housing. As for lids, I don't use a lid. She's never tried to get out, nor has she ever gotten out, so I've never had an issue with it. Some people might, especially, it really just depends on how you arrange the decor. If you put the decor up like this, then of course she'll be able to get out, but I just normally put it around the floor like this, and she'll kind of dig her little pathways and tunnels under it. So I don't ever have an issue. If I have this big rock here, if I put it on the corner like that, she could probably get out, so I just normally put it in the middle like this. So that's just some stuff to think about if you choose not to use a lid like I do. So, and also I think lids kind of make the experience a little bit less fun. I use lids for all my reptiles, I use lids for all my arachnids, but that's just because they're a bit better at escaping. These guys have trouble walking on the floor, so they will have lots of trouble trying to get up smooth surfaces. This roach can also not escape through the lid. So stay upside down, please, so you don't run away. Thank you. So that's basically all I use for this. So I'll just kind of get on to setting it up. So I'll just put this rock here. This is just for climbing opportunities. Also, it's good if you, they don't often drink from standing water, though they may. But if you put some water on top of the rock, they'll drink off the top of the rock and make some use out of it that way. I'll put some smaller rocks around. Most of the stuff is literally just for decoration. They don't care what's in their enclosure. If there's anything in their enclosure, you could probably put just sand and a small hide. They'd be perfectly fine. I'll put this stick like this, keeping in mind that she can escape if I put it the wrong way. And what I did here is I made it so she has a little hole that she'll probably eventually just dig out like this, and she'll sit under there during the day, and at night when she's active, she'll come out. It's a loud car. So this species is very easy. You just kind of mist them down a little bit, just like what I did here on one part of the enclosure to keep the rest dry every 2 weeks or so, and they get most of their water that they need from their food. And yeah, this actually lives with some mealworms, because originally I had mealworm beetles in here, and they apparently laid eggs, which I only found when she was in here, and I thought she laid eggs, but then I realized that their larvae look different than mealworms, and so there are now some mealworms in here that have not metamorphosed into beetles. But if they did, I wouldn't mind. I'd probably just end up feeding them to something, to be honest. But that's okay. And then I had more, but I had some, I think this is lavender that I got from outside. It's nice because once it's dead, it still stays a bit green and nice looking. Maybe not exactly green, but it still looks nice once it's dead. For a while, I've had this piece of rattlesnake shed that I found on a hike in the enclosure, just to see if she would attempt to eat it. She didn't. But I guess if you think it looks cool, you can put it in. I'll put a little chunk over here. Just because it is found in their natural habitat, it does have natural smells and stuff that they might pick up on and find interesting. Also, this little roach right here will eat it. So that's pretty much all you have to do for the enclosure. This roach is running away, so I'll just put him on it here. And I'll go around. So yeah, these beetles are, in my experience, very, very easy. Also very, very fun. They do tend to be active, and they are very friendly once they get used to you. She'll eat out of my hand and whatnot. Occasionally, as a little sweet treat, I'll put a little bit of honey on this rock over here. She'll come over and drink that up. And they're very fun little guys. And I think they make really great pets. They're so easy. Probably even easier than a lot of your hissing cockroaches that people such as, I don't know, I'm just gonna name a few. Clint's reptiles have said are the easiest pet in the world. These might be even easier than that. You can literally find these in your backyard depending on where you live. Like I can find these guys in my backyard occasionally, though I am in the middle of a big city, so it's less common than if I just go on a hike and pick one up. But they're very nice, they're very fun, and I highly recommend getting one. They're probably the easiest first pet you can get. They're small, they're basically indestructible. They've got this really hard elytra. They can't fly, which is an interesting thing among many species of darkling beetles. A lot of them cannot fly, which is nice because there are many beetles that look really cool, say, you know, your Hercules beetles and whatnot, but they can fly. And that can cause some issues if you want to keep them without a lid. I mean, once you put a lid on it, kind of isn't a problem anymore, but these don't have anything with which to bite or scratch you. They can't and they won't. They're pretty decent at holding on, so you're not going to drop them super easily. If you do drop them, you can see I'm not being super careful with moving my hand around because I'm talking with my hand here. They're pretty good at holding on, and even if you do drop them, it's not going to be bad for them at all. They might cause them a little bit of stress, but it's not anything they can't handle. And they're really fun. They all have different personalities. I've had a few of these in the past that'll come right up to you looking for food. So they're actually pretty smart, surprisingly. And most of the time they just sit there and they don't take up much space at all. And you can see this tiny little container. It's just like this big. It fits in my hand. Literally, I have quite big hands, but still basically just fits in your hand. You know, you can put one in your pocket, take it wherever you want. And they're really fun overall, and I highly recommend getting one if you're in the market for a beetle. Go try to find one of these. They're super fun, super easy, and I really like them. Also, you can get a few that are like different shades of like sort of gray. There's different species and they kind of have, they're all on like the gray scale. These are sort of at the bottom where it's a lot darker, and there's a few that are a lot lighter, and they come in a few different colors depending on what species you get, but they're all part of the same genus. And then there's some like this one, which is dead, which is in the same genus, but it is woolly. It's quite furry, as you can see. It's called the woolly darkling beetle. These ones smell really bad, not because they're dead, but just because they just secrete a horrible smell. But other than that, they're pretty fun. They're a little bit more active, but they are more nocturnal, so they're more active, but more active at night. These guys are just crepusculars for a few hours of the day, but these guys will hang out with you and they'll get to know you and know that you're not a threat. So these guys are, I'd say, more fun. But it really just comes down to preference. I highly recommend these. If you want one, go ahead, get one. They're so easy. You could probably honestly keep one if you figured out a way to like turn like a mason jar like this, like sideways. So like that, if you figure out a way to like have that not roll around, figure out a way to do that, that actually might be a pretty cool way to keep one of these, because this is an appropriate size. It's a little bit smaller than this, but that's okay. So if you enjoyed the video, thank you very much for watching. Please go ahead and like, and if you're feeling extra fancy, go ahead and subscribe as well. And I hope to see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.